Good morning, sixth grade. This is page 44 of your textbook. You can click the link and look at it, or you can just view it on here with me. Look back. How much wood will Brian need to build the 4 vertical sides of the cajon? How can you find the amounts he needs? Well, on the cajon, we had the front, we had the back, and then we had the 2 sides. Okay? And the front and the back are the same size. They are 12 by 18. So the front is 12 by 18. The back is 12 by 18. And then the one side, say the right side is 11 by 18. And then the left side is also 11 by 18. Now, it is important to multiply in your head. Get used to using your mental math. So to do 12 by 18, we are going to do 18 times 10. And then we're going to do 18 times 2. And then when we add those two numbers together, we'll have 18 times 12. Okay? So what's the quick way to multiply 18 times 10? Right, put a 0 after the 18. Anytime you multiply something by 10 or a factor of 10, you just put the number of zeros behind it. Now, 18 times 2 is just doubling 18. 18 and 18 is 36. That should be a fact that you know. Okay. So now we're going to add those two together, because when we add the 10 and the 12, the 10 and the 2, we have the 12. So we add them together and we get 6. To 16. So it's 216 inches squared for the front. Since the back is the same, that's also 216. Now to do the right side, we're going to do the same thing, only instead of multiplying it by 2, we're going to multiply it by, 1. So 18 times 10 was still 180, and 18 times 1 is just 18 more. Then we add those up. Okay. And then to get the final answer, you just add those all up. Now, many of you already did that. Go ahead and add those up. Okay? All right. Now, number 2. Okay? Brian's cajon is a right triangular prism. If you cut along some of the edges of the right rectangular prism, you can unfold the prism into a net. So here it is, and they kind of cut it open, but they didn't cut any pieces away. And when they got it, it was like this. Okay? How do the sizes and shapes of the rectangles in the net compare to the faces or sides of the right rectangular prism? Explain how you know. Well, these are the same sizes as when it's folded up. And how do I know? Because we didn't take away anything, we just folded it out. Where in the net do you see edges of the right rectangular prism? Well, so these rectangles are called the faces, and the edges are where two faces meet. They're kind of those lines, okay? And where in the, okay, I got that one. You can make nets. Oh, just to let you know, When you look at your three-dimensional figures, these points right here are called vertex, okay, or vertices. It's a vertex if it's one, vertices if it's more than one. Okay, so where they come to a point is a vertex. Where two faces meet is an edge, and then a flat part is a face. Okay? You can make nets for other three-dimensional figures. Look at the prism and pyramid. How are they alike and how are they different? So here's a prism. Okay. Look at that. And here's the pyramid. Go ahead and look at this. Okay. Now, when you look at the right rectangular prism, there are how many bases? Right, two bases. And the way you can tell a base is because they're parallel to each other. If you made this base continue out on all the sides, they would never touch with this base. But you can see this rectangular and the rectangular. So this rectangular, you see, touches this rectangular right here along this edge. So therefore, they cannot be bases because bases never touch each other. Okay, so this this right triangular prism means it has two bases, and triangle is the shape of the base. And the reason why it's a right triangle prism is that's denoting that that's a right angle. Okay, and that's a right angle. Okay, so that's about the prism. Now let's look at the pyramid. How do we know it's a pyramid? Well, it has one base, and then it has a point where all the faces come up to meet a point. So there's only one base, and then there's all the other sides come up to a face, a vertex. Okay, and when the vertex is up high like that, above everything, it can also be called an apex. Okay, the word is apex. Okay. Okay. So a pyramid has one base and a point up there. Okay. Um, how many triangles and how many rectangles are in the net for the right triangular prism? Well, how many triangles did we see? Right, two. And how many rectangles do you see in this? Right, three. Okay. And on this one, how many triangles do you see? Right, four. How many rectangles do you see? Well, there's no rectangle. Well, a square is a rectangle, I guess. It's a quadrilateral, anyways. This is a square. Okay, so because it says square pyramid, in the name is what the shape of the base is. So if you had, something that looked like this, okay, there's still triangles on the side coming up to the point, but the base was a triangle, so it'd be a triangular pyramid. Okay, all right. So I went over the face, the edge, and the vertex. Okay. Neva writes the following in her math notebook. A rectangular prism has 6 rectangular faces. Each rectangle has 4 sides. This means the prism has 6 times 4 equals 48 edges. Each rectangle also has 4 vertices. That means that the prism also has 24 vertices. Do you agree or disagree? Explain. Do you agree or disagree? Right, disagree because it has so many fewer than 24 edges or 24 vertices. And you can see that when you look up here at this one, it does not have 24 points or 24 faces because some of the sides share a face and a vertice. Okay, here is number 3. Kara is covering part of this rectangular box with duct tape. She is covering the 4 sides, but not the top or the bottom. So here's the top, and down here's the bottom that she's not covering. What is the total area that Kara will cover with duct tape? Show your work. Okay, so you're going to have to find out this side right here. And then after you find that side, the back will be the same. So you double it. Okay, so what was the area of the one side? Right here. What is the area of this one side? And then what is the area of two sides together, or in other words, double it? Okay. Now, what is the area of the right side? Okay. Now, what is the area when you double it? Okay. Now, add up the front plus the back plus the right side plus the left side. And then what is your total area? Okay, good. And thank you very much. I think that's the last one I want to go over. Let me just check and make sure. Yep, that's the last one.